And I've also catered for some celebrity. I do a lot of traveling. I've traveled from Atlanta to California, Mississippi. So I do quite a bit of traveling. I'm known what you call it traveling catering. So I'm pretty proud of that. Thanks for bringing that up. You know,
Oh,
sometimes
absolutely.
yeah.
I do want each one of you to share like your Facebook pages. So that's how I know that, Chef Cynthia. So if you want to type in the chat your Facebook business name, or I'm not for sure, but you have it
Okay.
on there. We
Yes,
would
I will
appreciate
do.
that.
I will do that.
Thank you. Ms. McCall.
Hey, hi, I have associate's degree in business administration from Southwestern Michigan College. I've actually been with AAA. I have over 41 years experience with the AAA brand. I started in 1979, working co-op at age 17. I went in the filing department, onto the claims department. I was a travel agent for over 10 years. And then in 2003, I went to the state of Michigan and got my insurance license to sell insurance. In 2013, I purchased Black, first woman to purchase the insurance agency for AAA, but also the first Black woman to purchase the agency. So I have a lot of experience with the AAA brand, working in the different capacities. That's really brought me to where I am today. So
Excellent. Pastor, I keep on saying Pastor Hattricks, that's what's on your Zoom, but Pastor Coach / Mr. Hatcher.
One of the things with what I do, I have to be honest and transparent. I guess it's a good thing. I mean, I know it's a good thing. I don't have any college education. I went to high school and I finished up to the 11th grade in school, and I simply got out of school because I didn't think it was for me. But if I could do anything over different in my past, I would make sure I would go back to school and get me some piece of paper for the things that I do. So I want to make that clear. And I think it's really a help to our community because not everybody goes to college. And my hat's off. I push education when I coach basketball, when I'm preaching and teaching at church. I push education. I didn't get it, but I thank God because of His grace that He's allowed me to be in the place that I am. There's a couple other hats that I wear. I'm also on the ordination board for our church. I'm the Sunday school superintendent of the jurisdiction. So I wear, and like I said, it's nothing but because of the grace of God that I'm where I'm at and that I have what I have. So I would like to encourage young people, if you don't get a college education, you could still get yourself established in the business world. I started out with drywall. One of my friends talked to me about it. And when I started off, I wasn't actually doing the drywall finishing. I was literally carrying drywall all day. So I would carry 500-600 sheets of drywall. So it was hard work. And so hard work pays off in the end. So after carrying it for so long, I seen the guys doing the finished work. I said, I want to work a little bit easier. So I got under one of the ones who was well-versed in what they were doing, and they began to teach me the trade. Not long after that, I'm quick at learning with my hands. I picked up the trade, and before I knew it, I was considered a professional drywall finisher. And I've been doing drywall for over 25 years now. A lot of people don't know it because I got out for a while and I was working a factory job. And when the factory closed, I said, I'm going back to what I know. And in the midst of it, I didn't understand how I was being set up. It was setting me up to be able to work my own hours. And yet God was ready, establishing me to pastor a church. So I'm able to work. And when I don't want to work, I don't go to work. So I can work my own hours, which is is a great thing. I set my own hours, so and I have a certain limits that I'll go and do work. Sometimes I get called a little further out of the scope, and I tell them, if I got to come this far, it's going to cost you a little bit more money. And the good thing about that is, I want to stress, is keeping a good name is very important, because I don't do a lot of advertising. Most of the advertising I do is just simply people telling other people, this man knows what he is doing. Now, there's a store here in the city of DeWaljack, used to be Judd's Lumber, and I'm always getting calls. They say, Judd's referred us to you. And from there, they'll tell somebody else. So and it's nothing but a blessing, because all through COVID, I've been working. I have not slowed down. I have been working. And when I go to the customer's house to work, I respect them. I'll have a mask. If they say you don't need to wear it, I'll take it off. But if they want me to keep it on, I respect my customers. So I'll go in and do what I do. And it's just been so much of a blessing. I'm really truly favored by God, because I can really identify with those kids that have those, what I want to say, hard, tough times growing up. I've been through that, but I'm proven fact that you can make it. You can make it. It's something that has to be within you, and giving you a drive to tell yourself that you can make it. And then you don't let anybody tell you what you can't do. That's what really pushed me, is when people said I can't do. That's what really pushed me. That motivates me more than anything else. And we need to see that more in our culture, because we're always told what we can't do. But we need to show people and prove it to them that we can do it. And I'm grateful for being in the midst of this great company. I know everybody that's on this panel. I didn't know who you were going to have, but I know Miss McCall from years back, Miss Cozy from years back, Blackamore, I know them. So it's a good thing to see people that you grew up with, and now we are established, because I would like to leave a legacy in some of these young people that regardless of what the situation looked like, you can still make it. So I just want to be an encouragement, and I'm grateful for being here today.
We thank you for being here. And that's actually one of the reasons why I asked you to be on this panel, because we have a construction trades program here. And I just know that, you've been in it for a very long time, and you do have a very good reputation. And so I just think that, well, trades are being pushed. So you don't have to go to college, but we do have trades here at SMC. I just want to,
And
so encourage, as you are working with the young ones, you can encourage them to, check our programs out. But I am grateful for you being here, because you are a very positive role model in our community, and you do have a lot to say. And so I'm just, grateful that there's a lot of students on this Zoom meeting to hear what you have to say.
And I also want to say this, it'll be soon once this COVID break, but I think I'll be the first chaplain for the police department, Black chaplain for the police department of the city of DeWaljack. We've already been working things out. As soon as we get everything together, they're so excited about me being on board with them. So that'll be another positive thing for our young people to see in the community, that we can work along with the officers. And a good thing about it is all police officers are not bad. So I'm grateful for that.
Good.
Yep.
Well, you're pushing me to a different question. I don't have it on the list, so if you don't want to answer it, it's fine. But it's Pastor Hatcher's fault. So it's a good one though, because there's been a push to support Black businesses. And so I just want to know, what impact has that had on your business, if any?
I think it's really had a good impact, because now I see young people are willing to, let me say this, really be willing to look into establishing their own, especially because I not only, when I tell them about what I do, I give them a little bit of background of where I come from. And I think that kind of helped them to see that if he can do what he did, after telling us how he had to get to where he's going, I believe within myself I can do something too. So I think it's really encouraging. And also I'm trying to link up with the young Black men that's in the area. You know, Mr. Lewis, Leroy Lewis, we're going to talk and try to get something going. My plan, this is a plan that's, I haven't broke the ground, but it's here and it's about to come out. And I want to establish like a community center in the city of Dowagiac. And I want the young Black entrepreneurs to come in and give a seminar. And so we can teach these. I've learned if we start on them while they're young, we give them something positive to think about. So that's my thing, is I want to start on them while they're young.
Good. Keep me in mind. Keep me in
Yes.
mind. You have one city council member vote, so.
All right, I appreciate that.
Does anybody else want to answer that question?
I'll take a stab at it. Okay, well, from the beginning, when I went to college, there weren't many Black men from Dowagiac going at the time that I was going. So I've always prided myself on trying to be an example, as well as provide examples to others. The name of the production company is Harmony and Diversity, because our goal is to produce films that uplift the Black community and not paint us in the light that so many films have painted us in, as far as all the negative stereotypes. So far as books go, films, my appearances in the community, everything that I try to do, I try to uplift the community. I try to be the example so that the younger people have someone to look at and say, okay, he's not that much older than me. So if he can do it, I can do it. I came from little bitty old Dowagiac. I graduated from here. I went to SNC for a year before I went off to state. So if I can do it, anybody can.
I saw you on mute. Okay. Okay, just leading into, another question about obstacles. What obstacles have each one of you faced throughout the years, and how did you overcome them? I know we have, the obstacle right now, COVID, but just through, from the beginning to the end, what type of obstacles have you faced in your business?
Well, for me, one of the obstacles I faced was being a Black author. I ended up self-publishing because I tried to go the commercial route. I sent out hundreds of query letters to all these different publishing companies. But what I've learned was, as many African Americans that read books, they still don't believe that we're a big market. So if you don't self-publish, or if you're not already known, you won't get that publishing deal. So what I ended up doing, I ended up researching, I ended up hitting up all kinds of independent authors to see, okay, well, I have this manuscript. What do I do with it now? What are the steps that I need to take in order to become a published author such as you? That was one of the obstacles I faced. Just being a Black man in the media industry. As I stated, I started off as an intern. I did it for a while in Lansing. The station closed down and I was at a catch-22. I didn't have enough experience to jump into another television station because they look for you to have 2 years or more. I had a year and a half. So I basically bumped my head for a while, formed my own businesses. As I stated, got into video production on my own and started working independently, and ended up jumping back into television because my current boss now saw that I actually do video production and decided to give me a chance. So yeah, it's just a lot of trial and error, a lot of research. You definitely got to believe in yourself and just keep it moving.
Okay. With me, some of the obstacles that I encounter is pretty much starting out in a new business. You have to build a reputation, and and people have to take your business serious. So starting out as a caterer, and people's like, oh, that's just a hobby of hers. No, it's not a hobby. It's a passion. It's a, it's my career now. So you have to build that clientele and you have to build the credibility. And that's hard work. So credibility and customer service. And one and other important piece is integrity. You have to have the integrity to go along with your business, and building that as a Black-owned business. Let's face it, you have to work hard at it. So, so you have to just be consistent with it, and you have to maintain that brand. That brand is everything. The appearance of you and the product that you produce and the consistency of it. You are always working hard to maintain that. So, and sometimes the obstacles of that is that you stumble. I mean, you will make some mistakes along the way, but the mistakes that you make, you have to have the courage and the energy to get back up. And you have to keep going, and you have to learn from those mistakes. So yes, are those obstacles along the way? Yes, but you got to keep working until you can get past them. You just got to persevere straight through them.
Ms. McCall?
Hi, some of my obstacles, well, in the past, the insurance industry, a lot of it's really was mostly white men who they referred to as insurance men. And so when I was the first Black woman to go out, it was a lot of negativity, really, even from my colleagues and even from my insurance, because some of my customers, they really wasn't used to seeing me or someone Black woman in that capacity. So I had to jump through a lot of hoops. I really did. It took a lot of patience, a lot of prayers, and a lot of grace to really successfully to open up and maintain the business what it is today. Although I've always had the support of a lot of Black people in the community, it just has been very challenging for me.
Great, you broke that glass ceiling.
Yes.
Coach Hatcher, is there anything that you want to add? You're on mute again.
I'm sorry, I had to tell my wife. One of the biggest obstacles in as we know, as being a man of color, we probably were the biggest X on our back there is. So I had to get past allowing that to cause me to look at people in the same way. So once I was able to grow past that, I had to understand that I had to be twice as good in establishing myself to be able to get the trust and get the clientele. And once I've gotten established through, and I like what Sister Cozy said, integrity. I recall I did a job for a couple, and I know what they were doing, because what I do is I subcontract. The contractors get the big job, and they'll call me and say, this is our man, this is who we work with, this is who's going to do the drywall. So they were kind of surprised to see me coming in doing it. So what they did was they left a couple $100 laying around. And every day I would go there, they would leave money around, but they didn't understand who they was dealing with. And my thing is I go to work, I don't touch nothing that don't belong to me. So I had to have some integrity, and I had to be honest. And once they saw that what I did, I was honest about it, I was good about it, I was fair about it, then my name began to grow. And one thing about it is, once your name gets good, you'll find that you'll have people that you didn't think were on your side. They will fight harder for you than you could ever imagine. And there's been many doors open for me because of somebody else speaking on my behalf. And that was because I'm strong with integrity. Whether you're around me or not, I'm going to do what I need to do, which is ethical and morally right. And that right there goes a long way. And that's part of the thing that I try to teach the young people. When nobody's around watching you, still be honest and true to your own self. And that goes a long way. So that was one of the main obstacles. And I got past that, and now I'm loved by people that I thought hated me, but the grace of God.
That was going to be my next question is about ethics. What are ethical concerns in your businesses? And, Coach Hatcher, you already touched on that, but like Tyree with being in, because I read a couple of your books. But also being in the film industry, what type of ethical things do you face? Or I'm interested too. What are some of the things that you would not do?
Basically, I'm not going to put out a movie that I know ultimately my mother wouldn't be proud that I put out. Like as I stated before, we see so much out there. We're always typecast, we're always this, that, or the other, but we don't see things that are positive, or we don't take a realistic situation and spin it to get that message out of it, you know what I mean? And if we do, it's always oversensitized, or we become caricatures or whatever. So I'm trying to get away from the caricatures. I'm trying to put people that you can say, okay, I know that person, or that's something I would do, or that's something my mama taught me. You know what I mean? I look at things along those lines. Number one, don't put out nothing that my mama wouldn't be proud to say that my son put out. Number two, same for my kids. I want to put out things that my kids could look back and say, okay, my dad did that. And if I have to question that and say, okay, is this too risky to where my son or my mother asks me what am I doing, then I won't do it. It's all about changing the industry and putting out things that we believe in to show the outside world that we're more than just what they think we are.
Good stuff.
Good. Chef Cynthia, do you have any ethical concerns in your line of business?
Well, in my line of business, I do a lot of private, high profile, private catering. So I have to enter people homes, that gated communities, and they have to be able to trust me that they're going to be able to allow me in their home and provide the service that they have inquired. And I'm, so majority of my staff, I'm all about supporting my people. I'm going to, my staff, my captains and everything, they're going to look like me, but I do have a diverse team. And I want to go in there very professional. I want to go in there where they're looking at me by the service that I provide and not by the color of my skin. And let's face it, sometimes that's not it. Whoa, am I going to be able to allow you to be in my home, or give you the code to my home and everything is still intact in the integrity? Everything is going to be there. Yes, you can. I'm going to leave your home better than when you left it. So my clients are, I have clients call me repeatedly and always, Chef, the code. I have a dinner party this evening. Can you go in, take care of everything and leave me instructions? That's what it takes. And that's part of the brand. But, it's still, you still have to work on that piece and you have to build that. And you have to say and show that, quit looking at one ethnic group to another. It's the service that we're all providing.
How frustrating is it that we still have to have this conversation, today?
Are you-
It's very frustrating to always have that subject come up. But thank you.
Well,
Jefferson.
yeah. Well, I want to say this piece. I tell my staff, I tell them all the time, I'm like, you know what? I know you get tired of hearing me say this, but we always have to work harder. And we always have to provide better service. And we always have to strive for that outstanding customer service. I said, so let's face it, the things that other people do, we can't get away with that. So don't do it, because we're not going to ever get away with that. And so, yeah, it's frustrating, but you just have to constantly drill that into your staff, and they get it.
I think those are the conversations we all have with our children at home also.
Yes.
Ms. McCall?
So in my line of work, I say there's a lot of what you call unhealthy competition out there, because, insurance rates, they're driven by the company, the location of the company. I'm sure if you got Michigan insurance, you know about this new Michigan reform law. So it has a lot to do with your medical insurance, and it can be cheaper depending on your insurance. So, but you want to get someone who's knowledgeable, someone who's going to call you at your renewal every time. We work on commission. You may have an agent down the street that don't care about lowering your rates, because of course they get paid higher commission. But me, I have to go that step beyond. I call my insurance every 6 months and I cater to them and see what kind of medical they need. And so they're not getting more than what they want or more than what they need. So like I said, it's driven by a lot of different things. So you really have to stay on top of your insurance, all the renewals, and major concern is getting an agent that you trust and one that is knowledgeable and can break down the different options that you have. So,
Ms. McCall, can you put your information in the chat too, your address, telephone number, so that, like someone like me that's, going to switch insurances pretty soon can contact you?
sure, when I figure out how to work the chat. I
Oh,
think I got it.
got it? Okay. Pastor Hatcher, did you want to add anything? I think you.
Well, I just want to
answered.
I like what Cynthia was saying. I've had to do projects where I do a lot of projects here. There's a lot of lakes in Dowagiac, and a lot of these houses, people from out of town own them. And I have to go into these homes, and it's really amazing how once you build a rapport with the people in the city, how they can speak for you. And I go in these houses, and there's been a couple times where people looked at me strange, but a lot of the time, because of the word of mouth about me, I get people coming from out of town. I'll give them a bid. They'll give me the key and a check and say, whatever you need to do, it's all yours. Now that goes a long way to me, because they have heard, this man you don't have to worry about. He's honest. He's going to do his job. And that right there is what I'm trying to drive into the young men that I deal with, is always be honest and keep your name clean. A good name is hard to keep. Once you keep that name clean, it goes a long way. So I understand what she says, and yes, we still have to deal with that. There's times we still have to deal with it, but when we work and to achieve and do the best that we can do, that's all that we can do. So I'm excited about this group that you have here.
Yes.
Yes.
I am too.
Yes.
What advice, Tyree, would you give someone that is wanting to start their own business, especially in what you're doing?
Definitely research. Research goes a long way. Networking, start talking to people. Anybody that you could think of, people you know, people you don't know. Ask them how did they get started, not just in film production, but any industry that you would like to go in. Talk to people, find out how they got started, what kind of training you need, you know, those type of things. But definitely research will take you far. There's things that you would get in a formal education, and there's things that you would get out there in the field, like Pastor Hatcher, as he stated. So definitely research, watch people. If there's an industry you want to jump in, watch people, see how they do things, ask them questions. Well, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? How do you do this? How do you do that? Definitely, you're going to do a lot of talking.
Chef Cynthia?
I would say that if you're interested in, you know, building a catering company, you pretty much have to establish your brand. You know, what brand do you want? What type of catering service are you providing? You know, who are your clients? What's your market? You know, and then knowledge, go and achieve the knowledge, grab mentors, ask questions, work for other people that's in the same industry that you want, you know, get the training. You don't always have to go back to school to be a chef. You know, there's a lot of great chefs that doesn't have a culinary degree, but they have great knowledge and experience by working along the side of other great chefs. But once you establish a business, it's not easy establishing a business. There's a lot of legal aspect that you have to do. And I say, do it all the right way. Go and get your EIN number, you know, get your federal license, get your catering license, you know, do an LLC, protect yourself. There's just a lot of great things that's out there for you, because if you don't, you'll get caught up in the pandemic like it is. And if you don't have everything in order, there's no one can help you. So, but when you do things in order and do it the legal way, then there's a lot of tools and benefits out there for you.
Ms. McCall?
I would say first you really need to put together or establish a great support team, family, friends, church family, get involved in the community, because they're the ones going to support you and give referral business. Find a great mentor, one that you can trust. I remember when they kept wanting me to go out to be an agent, I said, no, I can't be an agent. But I remember there was a guy, his name was Cliff Wallace. He was always in lights. So I called him. I said, you don't know me, but I know you. Your name is always in lights. And can you help me out? He said, come along with me. And so we didn't even know each other, but I reached out to him because he had been through it and he knew the ups and the downs and was able to carry me through. And today I still call him. So like I said, just get a great support team together. My church family has been awesome. You know, I rely on them a lot. So.
Coach Hatcher, is there anything you want to add? I know you.
I just like in establishing a business that I do, I would definitely recommend that you make sure the economy in the area that you will be working in is going good, and have a strategic plan. And if you go according to your strategy in building clientele, and like I'm going to keep stressing, keep that integrity. That means a lot. And just go out and see what other people are doing or how other people are doing it, because you can always learn. And that's one of the things. I have young guys working with me, and I tell them, I may teach you how to do it one way, and this may be the way you learn, but you may figure out a different way to do it that's better for you. So going out, just getting involved, and like they saying, get a mentor. I had a mentor, my best friend, Gary Cross. He was my mentor doing drywall. And from there on, you know, everything worked out. But it's really important that you have a good support group, because every day is not always a sunshiny day. And you need somebody to say, the sun will shine because this storm won't last forever. So a support group is very important.
Yeah. Good information. I think we got a few more, like 12 more minutes. Is there anything that anyone would like to add that have not been asked or you haven't said yet?
I would say perfect perseverance is the key too. It's going to be obstacles that you face, but you just have to be able to just keep on pushing, keep on moving. I would say faith. I stepped out on faith because you can't always see the end of the road, but I'm one that I always know God got my back, and with him, all things are possible.
All right.
All right. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I'd like to say something on that because that right there is what really, that's the foundation of my business is faith. Because I didn't have none of the tools or anything. I just said I have the know-how. I don't have anything else. And I said, Lord, I'm trusting you. And it didn't take off like I wanted to, but it got to the point, and even when it got tough, I tell the testimony. I was doing a job one day, and I hadn't anything else lined up, and I was doing this job. It was about to be done. I said, Lord, ain't nobody called me, and put my phone down, and I just started singing praises. And before I knew it, my phone just started ringing off the hook. I mean, like 5 or 6 calls right in a row, and that's the faith because I didn't trust in what I was doing. Because I know without God, I can't do it. And when you put that strong, firm faith in God, God will make a way. And that's my whole life. I recall when I went to sign up to be a coach, I went down and they interviewed me. They said, we're going to have a background check. And they had a background check, and they said, we see you had an issue 20-some years ago. I said, man, I don't even drink anymore. I haven't drank anything in over 30 years. And the guy said, I'm going to give you a chance. And they gave me the opportunity. I started off volunteering. Next year, they said, we want to hire you in as a full-time and we're going to pay you. And I said, good, because I love these boys. And before I know it, they said, we're going to move you up to the next level. Before I knew it, they said, we're going to move you. I said, oh, no, I don't want to go no further. Where I'm at, I'm fine with. And it was just such a blessing because I know we're doing this in order to try to help our culture and our ethnic people to see. But I have the Caucasian people's mothers and fathers, they just fell in love because of what I instilled into the kids. And I thank and praise God because he put me in a position to where I could pour into young people. And they call me to this day. Some of them call me and ask me for advice. And I find that to be truly a blessing. So I'm grateful. I'm thanking God for what he's doing in our lives. I see he's working in our lives, and that's a great thing.
I would definitely like to add to that. Don't listen to the naysayers. You have so many people telling you why you can't do something. My first book, no one knew that I was actually writing the book. My mama didn't even know until it was done because I didn't want to hear nobody tell me, well, you've never written a book before. What are you going to write about? I don't want to hear none of that. So I'm telling everyone else, don't listen to the naysayers. Do it for you. Do it because it's your passion. And the rest of them will catch up later.
Good stuff.
Yeah, I have to say that, everyone who starts a business, wants a dreamer. So when you're a dreamer, you have to also know that it's not going to be easy to achieve that dream. So you're going to have some hiccups. You're not going to see the fruit of your labor, probably maybe 2 to 3 years. And I've been in it 8 years strong. And the last 2 years, it's been the fruit of my labor. And of course, with the pandemic, that doesn't count. But just know that, you got to persevere through. And like Tyree said, you can't share your dream with everybody.
Nope.
because not everyone sees your vision, and not everyone is going to be able to celebrate you like you want people to celebrate you. So sometimes you have to travel that road alone until you get to the point and you know that you're strong enough to continue to endure no matter what people say, because there's going to be some naysayers, like he said. You know, but you got to continue to prove them wrong, and you're going to persevere through it. And sometimes people are going to think you're quiet. Sometimes when you're quiet, that's when you're out there dreaming and your dreams are coming true.
Yeah, so you have to be able to encourage yourself.
Yes, encourage yourself. And you know what? And keeping faith. I'm going to tell you something. Testimonies are great, you know, support to other people, because sometimes people are not going to understand your story and know your story. They're going to like, well, I don't see. Well, you're not supposed to see. You know, God's doing great things in my life for you to see the great things that he's doing. You know, so it's like you're stepping out there on faith. And sometimes you just got to let people see that God is real and that he's taking care of you, and that you're going to persevere through it with him. And I mean, I'm telling you, I get excited about the great things that he's been doing for me and the doors that he opens. Right? Because I was like,
Well, it's